Chelsea Royce. I'll be going over what Google Tag Manager is, how you can be utilizing it to update your own tags for conversion tracking, your site analytics, remarketing, and more. So I'll walk you through what Google Tag Manager is, the benefits of it, how to go ahead and create your Google Tag Manager account, how to go ahead and insert your Google Tag Manager and connect it to your website utilizing a plugin or the CSS section of your website so it is installed properly in the back end. I'll also go over how you can go ahead and make sure it is properly installed, and then how you can connect your Google Ads account to your Google Tag Manager. I'll be covering what a Google tag is, what a variable is, and what a trigger is so you know what it is that you are doing, and how you can track on your website what a user is doing. For example, you can be tracking how long they are scrolling on your website to go ahead and target those users, or where a user has clicked. You can track all of that. So I'll walk you through on how to go ahead and set up a Google tag to track the data, as well as how you can set up a conversion tracking so you know when a user opts in as a lead or makes a purchase or converts. You can do all of this in the Google Tag Manager, so let's dive in. So the Google Tag Manager is a tag management system from Google. It allows you to quickly update any measurements, marketing, optimization related to code fragments that would be on your website or your mobile app if you're running a mobile app. So you can use the Google Tag Manager in order to manage tags such as your measurements, marketing optimization on your website without editing any site code. You just use the Google Tag Manager to update your Google Ads, your Google Analytics, and more. So this allows you to go ahead and save time when you're setting up your retargeting ads or remarketing campaigns by using the shortcut of the Google Tag Manager. So in order to set this up, you'll want to go to tagmanager.google.com. You'll go ahead and click on Create Account, and this is also associated with your Gmail account. So you'll go ahead and fill out the information here, click if it's a website or an app, and just click Create. It'll then go ahead and give you terms of service. You'll just want to click You Agree, and you now have your Google Tag Manager codes. So you'll want to go ahead and copy and paste this on the back end of your website. So it shows you to go ahead and paste this code in the header of the pages. So you can just click this to go ahead and copy it, and then you'll paste it onto your website. And this allows you to go ahead and copy and paste this code in the body of your website. So you want to go ahead, copy and paste these codes and click OK. Now you have created a Google Tag Manager account. So if you're not tech savvy or you're nervous about adding in the Google Tag Manager code, you could always have a web developer help you out with it. They should easily be able to copy and paste it into the backend of your website. So depending on where your website is, or if it's a landing page, you'll typically have the backend of your settings where you can add in code. If you're unsure how to go ahead and do it, then you can always have a web developer to go ahead and install the Google Tag Manager code. One thing that is always smart to do is to back up your website before you edit any code, just for extra safety of your website. But I'll go ahead and show you how you can add this into a WordPress website. So there's a few different ways that you can go ahead and install this. So you can use WordPress plugins to go ahead and add a footer header section where you just add any code of your pixels, your Google Tag Manager, analytics, all of it there. So on the sidebar, when you're in WordPress, you'll want to go down to plugins. So go ahead, click Add New. This then takes you to a page where you can go ahead and search any plugins. So there's one that's called Insert Headers and Footers. This allows you to add the extra code into the header or footer section of your website. So you can go ahead and click to go ahead, download it and activate it. And then on the sidebar here, you will see your plugin that you just downloaded and activated. It's called Insert Headers and Footers. So you go ahead, select it, and it'll then take you to this page where it has scripts and headers. You can add any of that code for the header right here. So you'll just go ahead, copy and paste it, and you see it says Google Tag Manager with that code. You'll go back, and then you'll go go ahead and copy this section, and we'll go ahead and paste it in the footer section of this plugin. And then click OK. So that is one way you can go ahead and install these codes. It makes it very simple and easy to go ahead and do. And then you'll just click Save. And then you can also go ahead and copy and paste it into the actual CSS of your website. So I'll get into that next if you want to use that as an option to install the Google Tag Manager. Back in here on WordPress, and you'll want to go under your appearances and click Editor. So for this theme, this is the Aveda theme. And when you're in the editing section, you can go ahead and scroll down. So you can see this is the theme, Aveda theme in WordPress. On the right-hand side, if you scroll down, I can see the header section. So I'll go ahead and select the header. And this then allows me to go ahead and add the code in the header section. So I'll go ahead, copy it, and I'll go ahead and then paste it into this header section. That then has the Google Tag Manager. Then you'll want to click Update File. You can also go ahead and scroll down to Settings in your WordPress. You'll go to Google Tag Manager. This allows you to go ahead and put in your Google Tag Manager ID. So every Google Tag Manager is associated with an ID number. This will allow you to connect that into the backend of your WordPress. So you'll click here and you can get your Google Tag Manager number. And this is what we'll go ahead and put in the backend of WordPress to connect it. So we'll go back here, we'll enter in that Google Tag Manager number. You can also get your ID by going over to Accounts. You'll click on it, and it'll go ahead and say your container ID. So we'll go ahead and put that into the backend of your WordPress. And then we'll go ahead and select Custom Needs Tweaks in your template. When you do that, it pops up a code that they want you to go ahead and put on the body section of your website. So you'll just copy and paste it. You'll click on Save. So we'll go back to Appearances in the editor, we'll click Header, and then we'll go ahead and paste that code. Then we'll go ahead and save it. And then it'll say the file has been edited successfully. And then you can go ahead and check that it was added successfully. So we'll go ahead up to the top of the home dashboard and click Visit Site. And then if you go ahead and right-click on your website, you'll click on View Page Source. This then gives you the code. As you scroll down, we see Google Tag Manager code has been added. And in the body here. So a Google Tag Manager allows you to go ahead, give an instruction for Google to go ahead and track. So you tell the code what it is that you want to go ahead and track. It could be like certain pages where users click. You could have where you're tracking just visitors to your home page or a blog post. So in order to tell the code what it is that you want to track, you use what is called triggers. So for example, it could be a trigger to go ahead and track when somebody looks at your contact page. So then it goes ahead and fires the code to track it. If you have a particular piece of your code that you want to be triggered frequently, you can create what's called a variable. This will allow you to go ahead and use it multiple times. So in order to start creating a tag, you'll go to your tag manager in Google, the tagmanager.google.com. You'll select New Tag. It'll then go ahead and pop up, so you can go ahead and title this a name that you would remember it by. So I'll just title this AdWords Retargeting. Click on Tag Configuration and select AdWords Remarketing. You'll make sure your conversion ID is added, which is an ID that Google gives you to go ahead and connect your Google Analytics, all of the data. So this is your Google AdWords number. Then we'll go ahead and scroll down and you'll want to create your trigger. So we're telling it that what pages we want it on, or if we want it on all pages. So I'll go ahead and select all pages. And then we'll go ahead and click Save. And then you can go ahead and test this. You can click Preview. It then shows it's enabled, the preview mode. So you'll then go ahead and type in your website. So now this right here has the Google Tag Manager, and it shows us that these Google Tag Managers that we put in are now firing on the website. So it is working, and it is tracking this data. And in order to set up a variable, you have this left side bar. So you'll click on variable to do that. So the variables allow you to go ahead and track certain data on your website. For example, you can go ahead and track a user that has scrolled through a lot of your website opposed to somebody just maybe landed on it and bounced right off. So there's different types of variables that you can set up. Setting up a variable of people that have scrolled through your website is good to know because you can remarket those people that seem to be very interested in your website but maybe have not made that purchase yet. So I'll go ahead and show you how you can set up variables to go ahead and track this data. So we'll go ahead and click variables on the sidebar here and then click configure. It'll pop up this sidebar, and there's all these different options of different types of variables that you can select. So as we scroll down here, and there's a section that's called scrolling. So this is going to be tracking the depth of people scrolling on your website. So we'll go ahead and select all of those. And then we'll go back to tags to go ahead and create a new tag for this. So you'll click on new. You're going to title it what you want to remember this by. So like scroll depth. So for example, scrolling, scroll depth. We'll click on tag configuration, and then we'll go ahead and select universal analytics. You'll click the drop down, you'll go to event. In the category, you can go ahead, title it, so we'll go scroll depth. You can click the action here, and it'll give you some different variables to choose from. So we'll choose the scroll depth threshold, since that is the action we're wanting to go ahead and track. Want to change this to true, and then we'll select all pages, so it's measuring all of the pages no matter what page anybody is on the site. Then as we scroll down, you're going to hit trigger. We're going to click add a new one. You'll name the trigger, so we'll name this scroll depth. We're going to click to choose the trigger. We're going to go ahead, scroll down, you'll see user engagement, and we'll go ahead type that scroll depth. And so you can see, you can go ahead and select how people are scrolling on your website. There's so many different variables and tags that you can set up for what you want tracked. The percentage that somebody scrolls on your website. They go 25% down on the page, 75, whatever it is that you would want it to be. And you can select all pages or some pages. So we'll go ahead then click save and then save. And that's it. That is now tracking when somebody goes ahead and scrolls on our page. Next, I'll show you how to do conversion tracking. So this allows us to go ahead and see those users that have made a purchase, a conversion on our website. So you need your success and confirmation page URL. So that is, for example, if somebody opts in and then they go to maybe a thank you page, that is a conversion. Or if somebody goes ahead and makes a purchase, then it's the thank you page of your purchase, an invoice page, whatever it is, but you'll need that URL. And then you'll need the conversion advertising code. So for example, this example, I'm going to be showing you how to set up a conversion tracking when you're running Google Ads. So to recap the steps, we're going to go ahead and create the trigger. Then we'll go ahead and create the conversion code. And then we're going to go ahead and add that conversion code to our tag manager in Google. So the first step is creating a custom trigger inside of the Google Tags Manager. So to do this, we'll head over to that Google Tag Manager and click on trigger. Then we'll go ahead and click on new, and then you go ahead and title it. So this could be confirmation page, thank you page, lead, sign up, sale, whatever it is that you're tracking. So the trigger section is like an event or a goal that you want to go ahead and track on your site. So in this section, you'll go ahead and title what that event is. So up top here, I'll title this lead just so I know what it is, and then we'll go ahead and click on trigger configuration. And so this tells Google what triggers need to be met in order to go ahead and track that. So for example, you have click on this site, so if you want to track that somebody clicked it, if somebody viewed a page, there's the scroll depth one, there's all these different ones that you can go ahead and add as your trigger type in Google Tag Manager. So we'll go ahead and select page view because we know if they viewed this page, they have made a purchase or they are a lead now if they've opted in. And then the key here is we don't want it to be tracking all pages. We only want the pages that are our thank you page, the purchase page. So we'll go ahead and click on some page views. So you'll just select page URL, and then you go ahead and copy and paste that URL that you want to track. So this could be the thank you page of opt-in, the purchase thank you page, the invoice page, whatever it is that you have on your website that we're tracking as a conversion. And then we'll just click save. Then it shows us that that trigger is complete. Next up is creating the conversion code. So we'll go ahead and head over to your Google Ads Manager. And up top here, you'll want to go ahead and click on Tools. And then you go ahead and you'll see Measurements. You'll click on Conversions. And then you have this plus bar to add a new conversion. So we'll go ahead and add it. And then we'll go ahead and select website since we're tracking a website conversion. And then we'll go through and set up what this conversion means to us. So we'll go ahead and title it a name that we can remember it by. So we'll name it lead. Then on the category, you'll go ahead and select it as a lead. You can go ahead and title it what you'll remember it best by and select the category based off of what conversion it is for you. Then right here we have the option to tell Google what the value is. So if they made a purchase, you could put that as the price point to go ahead and tell it that when somebody goes ahead and converts, they land on this page, they purchased it, this is the price point that they purchased it at. So that helps keep track of the value of your ad data and the return on investment when you go through your ads. So if you can have where you can choose use the same value for each conversion, so if you have like a set product price, if you have different product prices, or to not use a value. So if, for example, if they're just opting in for something for free, and you want to track that as a conversion, but you don't have a specific value, you can select that. And then right here, we'll go ahead and select every, because we want to go ahead and select every conversion. Because if they're making a sale, they could potentially be purchasing other items. So you want to select every, and then we'll go ahead and click to the next page. And then you'll see it says use Google Tag Manager. So we'll go ahead and select it, and then it gives you your conversion ID and your conversion label. And then you go ahead and click Next to finish, and then click Done. Now we can see in our Google Ads, under Conversion Actions, we now have this as a tag. So now we'll go ahead and add that conversion tag. We click on the new tag, title it. So this is to identify the source and the action that we set up. Add word conversion, they are a lead. On tag configuration, and you'll see on the side here you have your Google Ads conversion tracking as the tag type. We'll go ahead and select it. Here we'll go ahead and copy and paste that conversion ID and label. We'll go ahead and select your triggering. So this is where the trigger comes in that we already created. We'll go ahead and select it as the lead. Tells Google that we only want to see this Google tag triggered when somebody goes to the confirmation page. Go ahead and click Save. And now it is set up, so you can select the preview. It'll then go ahead and show that your Google Tag Manager is in preview mode, and we'll go ahead and open up the page. Then it's very important to open up a new page, refresh, and scroll through it so it activates it. And then as we go to the page, you can see below here, it is tracking that conversion. And it is showing it is fired. And then as we scroll below, we can see that it is tracking the conversion and is a lead. So that is how to go ahead and set up a conversion to track your conversions in Google Tag Manager. So now you know what Google Tag Manager is and how you can utilize it to go ahead and track more data of your website, what the users are doing, and how you can utilize that information to optimize and target those people based off of where they are on your website or what they may have clicked or if they've purchased. So you also have that data to go ahead and track your return on investment. So now you can utilize Google Tags for your business.